IVM.
Hi everybody, just wanted to ask everyone for a quick favor. We're running a brand survey right now and would really appreciate it if you could let us know what you think about the advertising on IVM. Go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and do let us know. As part of this, we'll be selecting 10 random participants and sending them some IVM swag, so do fill out those surveys.
अर्चित, पता है कि इंटरव्यू जो हम जब लेते हैं ना थे, आजकल काफी ज्यादा इंटरव्यू पे ध्यान दे रहे हैं हम लोग। तो पता मजे क्या? अरे बिल्कुल प्रेप करना नहीं पड़ता है, ज्यादा पढ़ाई लिखाई करनी नहीं है, सब काम गेस्ट ने करना, अपन पीछे बैठेंगे मस्त खाई नहीं बनाते तो बैठ के या पान खाते तो कोई टेंशन ही नहीं है लाइफ में।
अबे काम चोर सेलिब्रिटी ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। हर एपिसोड के पहले, गेस्ट इंटरव्यू के पहले मैं सारे आर्टिकल्स या एसेज पढ़ता हूँ गेस्ट के, तो ठीक है।
ये देखो, झूठ मत बोलो, ये तुम जैसे फैन लोग होते जाके शाहरुख खान सर बिग फैन आई हैव सीन ऑल योर मूवी, और उसमें से जब आती है बात माया मैम साहब देखी है तो बोलते हैं वो तो अकेले में देखी थी।
माया मैम साहब, व्हाट इज दैट?
देखा, ये देखो आ गए सेलिब्रिटी वाले। शाहरुख खान की तो माया मैम साहब देखी है, यू शुड वॉच इट। इवन शाहरुख खान इज अशेम्ड ऑफ डूइंग दैट मूवी, जस्ट लाइक हाउ अमिताभ बच्चन इज अशेम्ड ऑफ डूइंग बूम, तो ऐसे ही माया मैम साहब वेरी अशेम्ड। खैर, हम ये शर्मनाक हरकतें जो हैं बाद में करेंगे। टुडे वी हैव एक्चुअली आज का जो 51वां एपिसोड है, तो 51वां एपिसोड के लिए वी हैव गॉट स्पेशल गेस्ट। एज यूजुअल हमारे पास तो गेस्ट बिल्कुल स्पेशल तड़का मार के आते हैं। टुडे वी हैव शरण्या दीपक। शरण्या इज एन अवार्ड विनिंग राइटर, मतलब भतेरे अवार्ड लेके बैठी हैं, पता नहीं क्यों। मुझे भी अवार्ड चाहिए, मुझे कभी अवार्ड नहीं मिला बचपन से आज तक। खैर कोई बात नहीं, सह लेंगे। So Sharanya has written wide range and array on like different articles on food. A recent one is tandoori momo, then there's custard powder, then there's issues on saffron production. Also covers a lot story from Kashmir, Bhuchulaki in Kashmir as well, and a lot of her writing captures social context as well. So and of course she has written for portals like Eater, Atlas Obscura, 52. and at a couple of other places. So yeah, काफी फैंसी है, तो इनका इस्तकबाल कर लेते हैं फटाफट रिवाज के हिसाब से। हेलो एंड वेलकम शरण्या टू आवर नानकरी पॉडकास्ट।
हेलो, थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी, और काफी तारीफें कर लिया आपने 2 मिनट में, सो थैंक यू।
और क्या हो दस किन्नियां तारीफां चाहिए तेनू।
I would have been disappointed if you didn't sing that song.
है ना, देखा, I never disappoint. Lannister never disappoints. और मैं
Is that the quote?
पता नहीं, Lannister always pays their debt, ऐसा कुछ था। अरे गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का वो भी है ना, पिछला वाला।
गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स बहुत पहले खत्म हो गया, किसी को याद नहीं होगा।
प्लीज एक्सक्यूज मी सर, गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स का प्रीक्वल आने वाला है।
अच्छा, ओके,
मतलब एपिसोड सीजन 1 का सीजन 0 ऐसा कुछ आ रहा है। खैर उसके लिए हम गेओटी को किसी के आदमी को बुला लेते हैं। अभी तो फिलहाल शरण्या हमारे पास। शरण्या, स्ट्रेट अप, मतलब your writing of course inspires many because of I think multiple things. There's also this complexity there, and then there's simplicity as well in the way you pick words, because often when you find people they're like heavy, बिल्कुल शशि थरूर लाइट बन जाते हैं लोग, but your has that simplicity,
and I also see that there's always an underdog protagonist in your story. For example, in the article on saffron production, there's the saffron farmers. In the tandoori momos article, there is the immigrants, the Tibetan immigrants. So is that intentional, or is that just happens to be a theme of all across your essays?
I think वो, I think वो हो जाता है also because like I was telling you before we started recording, like Vikram doctor, he's like just knows everything, right? Like he has an awareness of like many things. मुझे ना सही में कुछ like I have like very little things that I already know. Like, so I kind of go into everything learning very much like from people, and I'll ask very stupid questions and things like that. So, and oftentimes the people that enter my articles are people that I've become very attached to while I'm reporting. So I think that wo ho jata hai, and I don't know, like, I mean, maybe it's partly intentional, but it's also my personality to like find, like observe other people more than I'm like, oh, mujhe ye sab lag raha hai. Like later I'll maybe think about how I felt in the time, but like other people are just very, they're just, like I reported this article in Goa about indigenous rice varieties, and it wasn't dry at all as many people would have thought, because the there was this man jinka naam Santano Rodriguez hai, and he was like driving me around Goa, and he always had this little topi, and he would like, talk in this very specific way. फिर वो अपने स्कूटर पे बैठा के मुझे ले जाते थे. He would never eat, but he would be like, "Aap khao," and it was just like he had like a personality that I became very. I was like, it was just really fun. So he became like my character for that story. So I think वो हो जाता है, like it's just because people are really interesting, yeah, So like that's kind of why I started reporting in the first place, because I just like the things people say, even with Sadaf, like many times I've called him for a piece or वो कुछ बोल देता है, then it just kind of sticks in my mind. So then it kind of comes in, So I think it's both, but it's also just my personality to be like very in tune with everyone around me in a room. I'm always like observing them in a way.
So I am curious then, two things. First, of course, have you always been interested in food space? And if not, or if you were, then what kind of influenced you to explore this fantastic space?
So I've never really been someone who's like, I think I was always kind of, my sister is very big food, she's very like, she wants to find the right restaurant, usko ye sab karna hota tha. Mujhe nahi thi itni दिलचस्पी इन चीजों में, but when I went abroad to study to Belgium, और मैंने कुछ खा किया वहाँ पे, it was horrible, and I wasn't like doing anything, like because I don't know why I thought I was like मैं जाऊँगी कुछ, मुझे ना human rights में काम करना था, but it didn't. Then I realized what is actually at stake, and it's all like this global NGO type of culture, which was kind of weird. So then I wanted to come back to writing, and around then, that magazine, Roads and Kingdoms, which was launched by Anthony Bourdain, late Anthony Bourdain, it was like they were looking for pictures, and I was very enamored with Anthony Bourdain, the person. So I like watched him travel or and that magazine seemed really cool, like very like cool stories from places, and like kind of like an underground way of telling stories, and उनको food stories चाहिए. So that's literally how I was like, मैं इनके साथ काम करूँगी और मुझे भी cool बनना है. So then I started like, I found some pictures and I essentially sent it to them. And also it was when I came back home, 2015 में पहले आई और फिर 2017 में there, I was like starting off as a freelancer, and it's a hard life, So I wanted to find a niche कि मैं इसमें काम करूँ और फिर उसके बाद मैं दूसरी चीजें लिखूँ. And the food space was coming up. Like international publications are looking for writers and all those things. So I decided that I'm going to just like concentrate in one space, because like नहीं तो बहुत खतरनाक मुकाबला है ना. If you go into journalism, every bit, and news is not my strong feat. Like to go somewhere and be like, अच्छा क्या हो रहा है, and then leave.
Yeah.
And, and I'm not good at like when something horrible is happening to like take a mic to people. वो नहीं आता मुझे. So I wanted to do something that was allowing me to kind of comment on the things that were happening, but not from a direct, like not in a direct way. So like घुमा फिरा के talk about something, but not that, like not like in a news way, because that's not how I engage with information.
Yeah.
Like so हाँ, वो सब मिला के, that's kind of how I started food writing. But weird thing is, once I started, I realized that food has always kind of been a part of, like, obviously, like you're thinking about, like even your really, like your everyday choices, your politics are informed by the things that you eat or don't eat and things like that. So, bas wo sab, but it was very much a thing of a moment, like, because I think 17 mein shuru kiya tha maine, and then it was very like US publications were putting out calls for, they were like South Asia writers, things like that. So it was like it was happening then. So it was because of that mostly.
Awesome.
Oh, nice. I have a question for Archit, because Sharanya mentioned that ऐसे cool बनना था, तो cool बनने के लिए ना ऐसे खाने में आ गए. Archit, तुमने क्या किया ऐसे हरकतें cool बनने के लिए? Apart from writing that butter chicken poem?
Cool बनने के लिए अब सोचना पड़ेगा, बहुत कुछ किया होगा cool बनने के लिए.
एक तो कुछ किया होगा ना, मुझे को भी cool बनना है स्कूल कॉलेज में. हुडी नहीं पहना, नहीं. हुडी पहन कोई cool नहीं बनता यार.
Exact opposite, गर्म हो जाता है.
जोक, एक और जोक.
Yeah. अच्छा, एक सेकंड, मुझे एक सीरियस पॉइंट बोलना है.
डेथ ही हो गई.
So, I asked you, Sharanya, why is there an underdog in your story usually? And I think you answered that with the second answer, that you have a background in human rights. So maybe that reflects in your stories.
Yeah, but I don't honestly have a background in human rights at all. I was like, those were my aspirations. And I was like, दुनिया में कुछ बहुत अच्छा करूँगी, I will save lives, वगैरह. I think every 21, 22-year-old is like thinking कि क्या तुम, what you will do when you graduate. I didn't graduate. I didn't It's just like all my plans were just kind of, they didn't work out. But I think I'm just like, I'm intrigued by people, and I'm intrigued by the things that they feel or know more than I do. And also I don't have a very big, high idea of myself. I'm not like, oh, mujhe ye pasand hai to ye sahi hai. So yeah, for me very much I was like trying to listen. And I've always been kind of annoyed by kind of more elite trends because I think it's just the default of, man, I grew up in East Delhi और मैं school गई थी Central Delhi में, ठीक है? तो फिर there was this constant like, there was this constant thing where I was going to school with kids who were constantly like, I mean, it was just given कि उनको पता है क्या सही है और वो असली दिल्ली वाले और हम नकली हैं और वो cultured है और मैं नहीं हूँ, you know, like that thing. So I think that kind of like shows that kind of like gussa to like channel it into trying to think about how people who are on the top are not usually like saying something that's very informed. So I mean, so I just try to figure out what's behind.
Which is exactly also what Anthony Bourdain did with a lot of his shows and a lot of his writing. He went to the places where typically the elites did not go when he traveled to a new city. And that's exactly what I loved about him and his shows. And he was a huge influence for me as well during my teenage years when his show used to be there on TV. And even later with his other shows. Yeah.
And he's very like human man. There was a lot of... it wasn't just like, oh, I'm a white American man and I'm going to go and tell people what to do. He would just go places, and I remember wo kahin jate the and he would just be completely amazed. Like, you could see that he was like falling in love with people if they fed him something, because his whole face would change. It wasn't very like, there weren't any big words. It was more kind of like a, dude, you have to eat this kind of like joke. He's a very simple person, but obviously not simple because he was intelligent. And there's a lot of talk about how, especially with white people traveling the world, it can go wrong. Kafi, they could become very Orientalist. But he somehow did not do that. So I think just because he was always so in awe of everyone that he met, he was just like, wow, literally, to like everybody he would meet. So I loved that.
Bhai ka bhai tha, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, he was great. Good man. Or,
simple people can also be intelligent. Just saying.
Anthony Bourdain, the human man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. पीछे से sound the papa.
But to me, only simple things are intelligent. I think when you dress up things, like when you make them like fancy sounding, and this is something I struggle with in my work because I am a writer वगैरह हो, तो मुझे ना थोड़ा वो खूबसूरती से कभी-कभी लिखना, I kind of like, I'm like, oh, I should make this sound a little lofty, and then later I read it and I'm just like, yeah. So I like, there's also a sense of also aspiring to something when I'm writing. So anyway, sorry, that's another topic.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we started this podcast, because we wanted to sort of democratize, de-intellectualize conversations around food. That's why हम लोग ऐसे colloquial भाषा में English में बात करते हैं. We don't have शुद्ध हिंदी or pure English. कभी-कभी pure English में बोलना पड़ता है, but otherwise we just keep it colloquial.
Yeah, that's what I said. If I was like Hindi or English, he was like, "Joke करना करो."
हिंदुस्तानी.
It's your thing.
हाँ. तो खैर ये सब हो गया. अब ना एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग सा है, meat of the matter. Actually, not necessarily meat of the matter, but whatever. We read your article on Momo. Momos, whatever way you call it. And for people who are listening, नीचे शो नोट में ना लिंक है. बाकी सारे आर्टिकल्स जिसके बारे में मेंशन किया है उसके भी लिंक है. जाएं क्लिक करें और पढ़ लें. खैर, तो अब ये जो मोमो के बारे में बात हो रहा है. Now, before we get into the meat of the matter again, I want to understand one thing. And because in the article you also write about what it means to a Delhi wala, right? Now, somebody like me, who was really new in Delhi, so to speak, and there are other people as well who may not know what Momo is for Delhi folks, and because when they go somewhere, they're like, oh my God, Momo nahi mil raha. ऐसे कैसे चलेगी जिंदगी? And also because the Momo, first of all, letting people already know, disclaimer, the Momo that we get in Delhi is far superior as a street food than the same Momo that you find anywhere else. And I often have got like disappointed in places where they're not, so to speak, specialized in Momo. So tell me, आज तो नहीं बोलूँगा, tell me what it is for Delhi walas which sort of pulls them to eat Momo, and the entire culture, the entire tradition of eating Momo
One second. Before you answer that, Sharanya, I want to ask Sadaf. Sadaf, you say that you recently moved to Delhi. Oh, how recent was that? Please tell our listeners.
बस अभी मतलब जुम्मा 4 दिन हुए हैं, बस 10-11 साल हुए हैं.
Yeah, recent.
थोड़ी सी एक क्वार्टर नहीं जिंदगी की एक हाँ जितनी जिंदगी जी है उसकी एक क्वार्टर मैंने दिल्ली में गुजारा है. तो बड़ा रिसेंट है.
Are you saying you're 40 years old? Or
अरे
you're
नहीं
saying your
भाई.
math is weak?
है नो 3 नहीं 1 क्वार्टर कैसे हो 1
1/3 हो गया ना?
1/3 1/4 आई मेंट.
हाँ, 1/4 और क्वार्टर एक ही होता है.
ये व्हाटएवर 10-11 साल ले लो ना यार तुम अपने हिसाब से एडजस्ट कर लेना.
चलो ठीक है. हाँ, sorry Sharanya, please.
नहीं, but the thing is that what does it mean to दिल्ली वाला? वो तो यार, you know, it's the simultaneous thing कि हमें मोमोज पसंद नहीं है पर हम मोमोज को खराब करके छोड़ते हैं. So I think it's that's the very Delhi thing for me, ना. It's like जो चीज सबसे ज्यादा पसंद हो उसकी मतलब खत्म करो उसको नाप चटना कुछ भी, मतलब I think that's a classic Delhi way of showing love. Right? It's just like kind of love you, but I'm going to say, you know, are we allowed to swear on your podcast?
Sure.
बिल्कुल.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's that same thing of like my friends, like all my relationships with my friends are like, हाँ, हम तुमसे मोहब्बत बहुत करते हैं, but I'm like, I will also fuck you up simultaneously. So that's like how I feel like Delhi feels about momos. You're like, I love momos, but खराब करो उसको. So
यही तो सच्चा इश्क है.
हाँ, हमारे हिसाब से doesn't really translate, पता है global. क्या हो तुम, like Rakshas. But नहीं, I think so for me, like during college, it was all that you eat. So I think it was also like a thing that is a dish that because of habit you become so attached to it. Because Rosanna kha rahe ho, you know, there's like people will have, and it's just, I remember my friend Mohit, there's only one kind. हम एक जगह जाते थे और वो एक ही तरीके का मोमो था, but he would be like, मेरा ना 3 मिनट कम आप स्टीम करो, just because you want it to be different. So it's just like a dumb thing, but everyone is so obsessed with it. But everybody had their little like tricks with it. And obviously, वो इस article में मैंने ज़्यादा नहीं लिखा इसके बारे में, but I was doing some research for like someone else, for like a research place about how, you know, when the Tibetans came in 60s में वो आए थे, and then उसके बाद they kind of like settled, and even then because like, you know, Delhi people hadn't opened their minds towards foreigners at all. And I don't believe that even now we have. But unke, you know, like to them, so they used to live in Majnu Ka Tila vagera, and there were these things called tip dabs, which my father remembers. And people used to go like specially to eat momos and those things, Tibetan dhabas, jinko bolte hain. And then after the civil war in Nepal, and also like with the Nepali immigration, when they loosened it, when we needed like Nepali labor, people started coming, or bhar ke log aate the, you know, because like similar language, similar religion, whatever. But obviously India couldn't rehabilitate all these people, and I don't know the figure, but a large number of people were left unemployed. So they started kind of setting up stalls and things like that. And jo Lajpat Nagar wali auntie hai na, Dodma auntie, I actually interviewed her for this piece, and she was saying, she was like, shuruaat mein, she was 16 or like around there. She got married and she'd come as a refugee from the Karnataka mein ek refugee colony hai, wo wahan se aayi thi, Delhi. And she was like, I used to be so scared that I used to put a table of momos, like it used to be a red table. वो मोमो बना के रखती थी. She used to put up a sign and she used to hide under the table because she was so scared. Because I guess people were like racist or mean and things, na, towards them then. And now she's a gangster. You see her walk around Lajpat Nagar, people like move. People move. Sadak se. And she's so she was telling me, she was like, it was very difficult to convince people to eat this food because you know, it was foreign and it was pika like then, na? Because people would be like, wo phiki hai. And then, but slowly she said, because it was kind of healthy and stuff, people started expressing interest. And then when the Nepali migrants started coming in, lots of stalls came up. और फिर ये, I think Gorkha migrants भी आए थे northeast से. तो वो सब मिला जुला के, I think there was a lot of like people started stall. But to me, I think it was the moment where, you know, to me it's like, I feel like in Delhi and in most places, when something doesn't, like when घर पे मिलता ही नहीं है ना, when something is like kind of like separate from tradition, caste, ये सब चीजें, when something can actually literally bring people together. क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ even food when you're eating outside, like now less maybe because of like global cuisines वगैरह, like caste used to determine who would eat, how would eat together. So when something doesn't belong to India itself, then there was no way to do that. So everyone had equal access to the momo. So that to me is like quite informative about how it became popular. Or because it's a new thing, or uski kabhi, there's no hard set rule. People started introducing different kinds of sauces. Or abhi to kuch bhi, abhi, my favorite one is actually at Yusrai Community Center Market near Green Park Metro. और वहाँ पे जो भैया मोमो बनाते हैं, he started making like mushroom and like soya and all kinds of things, but also, so I mean, literally there's like no end. You can do whatever you want to it. So yeah, I feel like that's why we kind of love it. And I mean, it's great. Like it's obviously really tasty. Sasta tha bahut, क्योंकि maida, cabbage, keema, that's not like, it's not things that are severely affected by price rise. Abhi hai. Like now, inflation is so much. But yeah, anyway. So, wo sab cheezein, I think like that's all kind of why we take momo so seriously.
Yeah. You rightly labeled it as student food. I remember when I was in school, I think we had limited budget. So anything that was non-vegetarian, anything meat related was sort of out of budget when you're just, eating every day. We used to eat sort of patties or samosas, those kind of things, or pav bhaji. But then this momo came around and it was 8 pieces for 40 rupees.
Yeah.
And it was, people also thought it was healthy because it was not fried, unlike a lot of other street food items. Even though it has maida and that Szechuan chili, garlic, onion chutney is full of refined oil, it was not healthy. But there was this notion that because it's steamed, it's healthy, and it was easily available. It's literally available on every street corner of Delhi NCR. And I recently read that in Delhi, there are momo factories which make thousands of momos in bulk and then supply to local street vendors who heat it on like a steamer and serve it to people. Now it's served with mayo and whatnot. Earlier there was just cabbage momos and I think chicken momos. And also, do you think these chicken momos were actually chicken? There were rumors that they're, I don't know, pigeons, soya.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that?
I think the pigeon rumor is true. Because like sometimes you eat some of the chicken and you were like, okay.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like, I don't know, maybe other cities and other places have this, but I feel like in Delhi and in like North India in general, yeah, पेट खराब होए या कुछ होए ना, फर्क नहीं पड़ता है लोगों को. Like I will go and eat the same double fried spring roll that has been making me sick since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
But I'll still go to the same guy and eat it because there's like a sense. It's almost as if like Vani, my friend who came up with Bhakti wala khana, she also says कि जितना पेट खराब होता है उतना वापस जाते हैं लोग. Like it makes no sense. So it's just this thing of like not caring about. I mean, we should care about like hygiene and all that, but that's not like the main.
Yeah.
It's never the main concern.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You mentioned Dolma Auntie. Can you tell our listeners a bit about those who are not familiar with Dolma Auntie's momos? Can you tell our listeners a bit about it?
Yeah. So Dolma Auntie momos is like it's called the first momo stall in Delhi. I don't know how much that's true, but like it's been verified by a bunch of people. And every time you see a YouTube video, they'll always say first momo stall in Delhi, like that. So she's this Tibetan lady who runs a stall now with her children, and first with her sister-in-law. And she's kind of like supposed to be the person that brought momos to the Delhi public. And in this piece about the tandoori momo, I think like I talk about Lajpat Nagar, and Lajpat Nagar is just quite like interesting for me because वहाँ पे बहुत सारे communities हैं, and like people come from all kind of walks of life, and also it's a place where there's no, like so many different kinds of foods have gotten institutionalized there. So I think the momo, like the first momo stall being an institution over there is quite telling ki it's Lajpat Nagar, because it's kind of like a mix now. Many communities, like there's also obviously everyone has different levels of power in Lajpat Nagar, but it is like historically it was a place where people like refugees from partition came and lived. So there's a sense of like movement in Lajpat Nagar. And Dolma Auntie's momos is now kind of like a very famous, like iconic spot. Or abhi unke yahan there's spring rolls chaat or like there's like different kinds of things. So yeah, she's a very, very impressive woman, because when she started there was language barriers and there was, like I said, there was a bunch of racism towards Tibetans. Or abhi bhi hai, but abhi obviously kam hai. Like I think when there were not that many people, it was hard. And obviously these people like left their home country like recently, when she was here, there was obviously a lot of trauma and things like that. But so many of them walked from Tibet. So there's a sense of like leaving and making India your new home. I'm sure it wasn't easy. So she was telling me. But then मैंने उनसे बहुत सवाल किए, and I was like, was it difficult? And like a classic like Indian elder only, she was like, नहीं, बिल्कुल कुछ नहीं रहा. I was like, I'm sure थोड़ी तो मुश्किलें ही होंगी. But she didn't elaborate on how difficult it was. But like her daughter, and she did give me a sense of it was challenging, to set that stall up. Anyway, you guys should go. वो main road पे it's very easy to find. That's just the one. So, and she's also like she's the kind of pioneer of what I think of as aunties momos, like women with momo stalls, like just anybody. So she opened that gate a little bit.
Lajpat Nagar is a refugee colony. It was inhabited by refugees from Pakistan, now Pakistan, undivided India. So it's sort of apt that it welcomes this refugee food 60, 70 years later, which is the momo.
Yeah, I love Lajpat Nagar. It's like amazing. That's also
and it has Afghani food as well. So people who are interested in that. So as you said, refugee food all across the world. Yeah. खैर एक काम करते हैं, हम ना फटाफट डोलमा आंटी के मोमो मंगा लेते हैं, और जब तक हम मंगा रहे हैं तब तक सुनने वाले श्रोताओं जाएं ब्रेक लेके आए आप.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Advertising is Dead, Varun is joined by Sharmeen Ali, founder and CEO of InStory, to discuss neuromarketing and how artificial intelligence can enhance empathy in content writing. Raghavi and Nisha are back with Misconduct Season 2. We begin with actress Maria Susairaj, involved in the killing of Neeraj Grover, a TV executive. On Akla Station Adulthood, Ekta Rajani, a fashion stylist, gives Ritasha and Ayushi hope, wisdom, and useful tips to beat the adulthood blues. On All Things Policy, Pratik Wagre and Rohan Sheth look at digital communication networks and their effects on public discourse. And on Come Home to Kotak, Cyrus talks to his friend Suresh about the steps ahead of buying his dream home, design, decor, and furniture. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week: Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quarter, CoinSwitch, Kuber, Slate Coffee, Intel, Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Oxfam India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
आपने श्वेताओं को बोला था ब्रेक लेने के लिए, बाकी लोग क्या जिनका नाम श्वेता नहीं है?
श्वेता नहीं है तो आई एम सॉरी, श्वेता नहीं है तो नहीं है, अब यही है कहानी.
अच्छा थोड़े सीरियस मुद्दे पे आते हैं. ये
लोग को लगता है कितना डेस्परेट ये लौंडा है. कभी निहारिका की बात करता है, कभी श्वेता की बात करता है. फॉर पीपल हु डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड निहारिका घोष वाज आवर एपिसोड ऑन निहारी. तो anybody who is interested, please go back and listen to Niharika Ghosh episode.
ये एक टेक्निकल क्वेश्चन है आपके लिए. डिफरेंस क्या होता है डिमसम और मोमो में? आई मीन, इज इट जस्ट डिमसम जस्ट महंगा मोमो?
मतलब कह सकते हैं वैसे तो डिमसम्स आर लाइक द गुरमे मोमोस, बट द बेसिक डिफरेंस होता है कि अलग अलग स्टार्च का इस्तेमाल है. दैट्स अबाउट इट, right? So if you remember, if you can recall, eating dim sums in a fancy restaurant, you can see through it, right? उसके अंदर का जो stuffing है वो दिखता है, whether it is meat or radish or whatever the stuffing is, because that's a different kind of starch altogether, which is usually potato or rice starch. However, your momo is maida, which is also starch, but it's completely different kind of. In fact, including your modak can also be termed as dumplings, because again, rice flour, kind of starchy thing, and then so that's the major difference between all these different kinds of mo.
There is a lovely episode on dumplings in this Netflix show called Ugly Delicious by David Chang. Please check it out if you haven't already, and if you do have a Netflix subscription.
हम अपना नहीं देंगे भैया, हमारा नेटफ्लिक्स
डीएम मत करना.
हमारा नेटफ्लिक्स डीएम मत करना भैया, प्लीज बता तो दिए है, हमें अपना नेटफ्लिक्स पासवर्ड भी दीजिए. हमारा पहले तो 4 लोग के पास चल रहा है, और 4 लोगों में जो चौथा जो है ना, वो मतलब पेन इन द बिहाइंड है, क्योंकि उसका मखत ने इतना कोरियन देख देखा है ना, पूरा नेटफ्लिक्स मतलब एल्गोरिथम उसके चक्कर में मेरा गड़बड़ हो गया. आई गॉट टू सी ऑल द के-पॉप. मैं तो देखता भी नहीं हूँ, गलती से स्क्विड गेम देख लिया था अपने प्रोफाइल पे, अब उसके बाद मेरे सिर्फ स्क्विड गेम टाइप की ही चीजें आ रही हैं, के-पॉप ड्रामास. दुख है जिंदगी का। खैर उस दुख से निकलते हैं, मोमो पे आते हैं। तो what Shania, you mentioned about it. It's a very, in a way, personal for Delhi walas, and at least both of you grew up in Delhi. So you all must be having some sort of memory, ugly or beautiful, it doesn't matter, but some sort of memory for sure. So we start with you, Sharanya, and then we also go to Archit. Sharanya, your favorite memory of momo?
My favorite, yeah. I mean, there's so many, na. But I think so. I mean, like recently, ये Yusuf Sarai वाले जो भैया बता रही हूँ ना, मैं the one near the metro. That's like a place where my friends and I used to hang out quite a lot. वो जो market वाला scene है ना, where like there's nothing. There's only like a couple of food stalls and people are just sitting on the pavement or like momos खा रहे हो और गंदी सिगरेट पी रहे हो, like very like 90s, 2000s kind of chilling, because now everybody goes to cafes. So, but that market, I went recently and there's only ATMs. तो वहाँ पे इतने वो gentrify नहीं हो रहे, like coffee shops नहीं आ गई बहुत सारी, and it's actually really fun. And I was like, maybe I'm too old to do this kind of scene anymore, like ऐसी pavement पे बैठ के 1 घंटे बात करना, but it's still the most fun. So I think for me, like that market is very special. और वो घर से दूर है obviously, but I went to college in Chanakipuri, तो मैं and my friends went to Gargi and all that, so we'd all like meet there. So that was like that's a very special place for me, the momo place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Archit?
So, as I mentioned, in school, I think 11th, 12th के time पे momos नए आए थे. They were cheap, they were tasty and supposedly healthy. So after, Saket and Malviya Nagar is where I grew up and where I went to school and tuition. So that's where we used to eat momos every day. And, Delhi is unique in that way that वो DDA markets जो हैं दिल्ली में बहुत सारी, वहाँ पे, as you said, Sharanya, you can just, chill in that public area. It hardly happens now. People go to malls and cafes, but you can chill in that public area, momos khao. And I remember always asking for extra chutney. Bhaiya extra chutney dena, lal chutney dena. Or sometimes also packing the momos. जब मतलब एक plate खाई और एक plate घर के लिए किसी के लिए pack करके ले गए. It did not, travel that well. They used to give it in this aluminium sort of packet. It did not travel that well, but I remember sharing thousands of plates, not thousands, I'm exaggerating, hundreds of plates of momos with friends after tuition and, chatting over it.
Yeah.
Side se Coca-Cola kharid li. Going older, you mix things in that Coca-Cola. So yeah, those are my memories.
Momos also to me are like student food, na? Like school and college khana. And we think about like Indian cuisine वगैरह. हम नहीं सोचते कि बच्चों को क्या खाना है. और कुछ भी बकवास तो खा ही रहे बच्चे, like or like there's always like some random thing that's come up, especially because students just want to do like like my friend said, like just want to like sit around or. And obviously, it's not such a like the West where drinking is very normalized at a very early age. So we have to find our own ways to have fun in the city. Right? Like food happens to be one of those things, and you want to eat something that's a bit ridiculous. Na? You don't always want to eat like अच्छा खाना. So that's not a thing.
Yeah. वो जो I personally enjoy मतलब जो मोमो के साथ लाल चटनी होती है ना, ओए होए, कुछ तो अफीम मिलाते हैं उसमें सारे लोग. It's very addictive. मतलब अफीम का नशा है. Not like I have done अफीम, but I'm just assuming. You eat it, नाक से पानी बहा, सड़ो होता है, लेकिन ओह भैया चटनी डालिए. And I think that's why they have. And this is my assumption that maybe this is why they have come up with a mayonnaise combination with momo, ताकि थोड़ा सा mild हो जाए.
I have to tell you that so most momo places during my sort of teenage years, they served momos which are very similar. The differentiating factor and the factor which made people choose one over the other was the chutney. कि उनकी चटनी ज़्यादा अच्छी है या इनकी चटनी ज़्यादा अच्छी है. Everybody had their favorites based on chutney, not necessarily the actual momo.
Yeah, and also it's like a thing ना to ask for more chutney. Like I remember we went to this place जयपुर में रावत कचौड़ी करके, और जयपुर में कचौड़ी के साथ चटनी नहीं देते. And like there was a line of like Delhi walas being like, "ये क्या मजाक है?"
Yeah.
They'd be like, "भैया चटनी," and that guy was like, "No, buddy, तुम मुझे पता है दिल्ली से आए हो, नहीं मिलेगी चटनी." And it's great, but people are not having it. They're like, where's the chutney? What's happening? So it's really funny. I think we love chutney just as a culture. We're like chutney.
You took this momo culture for granted, and when I went to Bombay, I realized ये सब जगह नहीं होता, because in Delhi it's available in every street corner. So I went to Bombay for college and I was like, momo कहाँ है? मोमो वाला क्यों नहीं है यहाँ पे कोई?
यही
So funny.
And every Delhiite in Bombay has the idea कि हम लोग यहाँ पे एक मोमो स्टॉल सेटअप करेंगे. Every Delhiite has that idea.
So stupid.
Yeah.
So
हमारे
funny.
रांची में, थैंक यू बाय द वे आस्किंग कि व्हाट इज योर फेवरेट
Oh, sorry,
मेमोरी
guys.
You said you are
Momo, thank
you recently came to Delhi, huh?
अरे तो मेमोरी तो होगी ना, कहानी हर चीज रखी है मैंने.
ये प्रॉब्लम होता है ना, कैपिटल सिटी वालों की नहीं बात करनी चाहिए. Too
आई
entitled.
टेल यू, यही होते आए हम लोग के रास्ते, छोटे गांव से क्या आ गया, हमारी बेइज्जती कर दिया लोगों ने. खैर, तो द फेवरेट मेमोरी ऑफ माइन, हमारे हॉस्टल में ना, मतलब हॉस्टल में तो हम रहते थे, हॉस्टल से करीब 1.5-2 किलोमीटर पे ना एक देयर इज अ प्लेस इन रांची, इफ पीपल आर लिसनिंग फ्रॉम रांची, जगह इसका नाम है चर्च कॉम्प्लेक्स. सुपर पॉपुलर जगह, इट्स लाइक उस टाइम का मॉल हुआ करता था वो. तो उसके बाहर ना एक लगता था मोमो वाला, और देयर वाज दिस नेपाली गाय हु यूज्ड टू मेक मोमो एंड चिकन फीट सूप. हो, उसके लिए इमेजिन करो, हम 1.5-2 किलोमीटर चल के जाते थे खाने के लिए. बाजू में तो वही सब चिकन विकन मिलता था. तो एंड देन यू गो, एंड देन द रीजन फॉर वॉकिंग एंड नॉट टेकिंग रिक्शा और समथिंग, बिकॉज देखो 20 रुपए का मोमो खाने जा रहे थे, उसके लिए 50 रुपए
50
स्पेंड
रुपए
करना,
extra.
कहाँ का लॉजिक है ये बात. तो हम वैसे चुपचाप से वॉकिंग, और रात को इवनिंग वॉक भी इसी बहाने हो जाया करता था.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Let's come to the bakchodi wala khana in your words or in your friends' words. Tandoori momos. Now,
Oh God. Huh?
the first time I tried tandoori momos, I absolutely loved them. I don't eat them as much because I don't eat maida much. But another line from your essay, and of course we'll link it to the show notes, is that one friend compares the vibe of eating a tandoori momo to the senseless adrenaline high you might get from racing someone on the main road or downing cheap whiskey.
मतलब मैंने ही बताया था Jonathan को in an email,
Yeah.
and I put it in the article. I was like, yeah, make us sound like a bunch of lunatics, which we are, but कोई नहीं.
So
But
what's unique about this dish?
I think that for me, see, the thing is that because I've been working in this like food writing space, and मुझे ना बहुत ज़्यादा editors email करते हैं, पूछते हैं like, oh, do you want to write about chai, and do you want to write about your traditional recipes, and then like, you know, like it's always this thing of like, they just assume that because I'm an Indian woman,
Yeah.
like, मैं पता नहीं, like I must be some domestic goddess, like, you know, so which is like, she's like, ऐसा नहीं है. That's a weird assumption, but that's just the way that they think about us, na? So
Yeah.
oftentimes, like, I would think that what if I had to write about the cultures around me, like just like bhakti and nonsense and people eating for the sake of like, keep, you know, line में खड़े होके धक्का देने किसी को, like that's also like that you know, that's an element in like street food and things like that. Like my friends eat very badly, तो उनको देख के I was like, इनके बारे में कौन लिखेगा? So you know, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I think I've divulged from your question a bit, but thinking about that, I was like, when we talk about Delhi cultures, we always talk about the old cultures, which is great because we have good ones like Shahjahanabad or Kebab or Vagera, like amazing, beautiful stuff. But what about the stuff that's not so beautiful, quote unquote? You know, like the stuff that's a bit like badtameez and all that, because that's a huge part of our culture.
Yeah.
So like, and that's the thing, I kind of wanted to own being this thing they say about Delhi, na, ki tum log aggressive ho aur tumhe pasand nahi aata koi, that kind of stuff. I wanted to own it. I wanted to embrace it. I wanted to be like, yeah, you know what? We're bad people, but sorry, हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते इसके बारे में, and this is our food, and it doesn't make any sense. But to me, the tandoori momo is kind of like comes out of that need to exaggerate, this need of excess that the city has. कि you know, अगर दोस्तों के लिए जान दे दो और प्यार करो तो मतलब पता नहीं कोई, like, you know, it's like everything is like big time.
Yeah.
So I think to me that sense of exaggeration is very, it's very Delhi, it's very like North Indian, it's very or like, and you know, like that's something that I've always thought about, because again, like I'm not a pure North Indian, I'm not. My family is from the south, so oftentimes my friends used to tell me कि तुम लोग अपनी, like me and my sister, तुम अपनी personality ना ज़्यादा ही करते हो, exaggerate. And like I feel like you're like the way that we think about Delhi or something. Anyway, I think I've completely digressed. But yeah, the tandoori momo was a way for me to think about those things. So people are always like, oh, ये बहुत ज़्यादा है. But like, so what, you know? So what? अगर ज़्यादा है तो इसका मतलब नहीं है कि गलत है. It's not nice.
Sadaf, can you, as a chef, define tandoori momos for our listeners? What are they?
It is Delhi's love for
नहीं, बिल्कुल बेसिक टर्म्स में क्या होता है वो, उसके anatomy
वही तो
बताओ.
बता रहा हूँ कि I'm trying to मतलब
Yeah.
be really also giving it enough respect.
Yeah.
कि क्या है? I think it's the Delhi wala's love of putting everything in tandoor.
Yeah.
So tandoori momo basically is what Sharan has also mentioned. You have it's just the same momo, not really same momo. There's one very minute difference which people don't necessarily understand the difference between a regular steam momo versus a tandoori momo. Tandoori momo's outer shell a little thicker, not really thin like the steam momos, because you got to marinate the whole dish and then that goes in a seekh. अब सीख में जाके जब वो तंदूर में जाएगा तो अगर पतला पतला शेल होगा तो वो गिर जाएगा. And that's why, if you have ever noticed, they have a little thicker thing. And then, of course, what again, back to Sharanya's article, where she talks about this particular tandoori momo smeared with all these orange-colored chutney. तो फिर उसके ऊपर चटनियाँ होती हैं 50,000 टाइप की. And that's literally momo in a tandoor.
तंदूरी चिकन का मसाला होता है उसमें.
तंदूरी चिकन मसाला अंदर होता है. कभी कभी मतलब सब नहीं यूज करते हैं, लेकिन कुछ कुछ लोग अंदर डालते हैं. दे मैरिनेट द चिकन एज वेल इन तंदूरी चिकन मसाला. कुछ लोग दे मेक इट जस्ट लाइक अ रेगुलर वन एंड देन एवरीथिंग इज इन द कोटिंग. सो द कोटिंग विल हैव द तंदूरी जस्ट द वे यू मेक तंदूरी चिकन टिक्का. उस तरीके से बनता है. So yeah, it's a very interesting. I personally am nothing against it. I think it just also tastes good. However, one tip, if people are going to try tandoori momo, if they haven't already, I think it's better to try right there because घर आते आते तो कहानी खत्म हो जाएगी. Because you need that crispiness.
Yeah.
It doesn't travel.
Exactly.
It doesn't travel.
हाँ, only you travel.
So right now, like एक महीने पहले we got it from Hunger Strike only, और एक तो डबल मलाई डाल दी थी उन्होंने, and I told him, I was like, मत डालो, like just don't, because the malai really like coagulates. And then I went and did some things, and all 2 घंटे हो गए गाड़ी में बैठ के, and it was like not great.
This is the Afghani tandoori momo जिसमें मलाई डालते हैं.
मैंने उनको बोला था ऐसे ही दे दो आप, like just normal tandoori momo, no malai, no nothing, and he's like double malai. You don't understand.
आपने मना किया है, ये लीजिए 2 बार.
Yeah. And this is also typically served with hari chutney, because tandoori items are typically served with hari chutney. And I am a huge. The first time I tasted it, I absolutely loved it, because there's something about cooking in fire, cooking in a tandoor, which is very primitive and which is just I really enjoyed. वो जो burnt, semi-burnt taste होता है, मुझे बड़ा मजा आता है वो खाने में. तो I actually prefer to eat tandoori momos over regular steamed momos, or even the for me unedible fried momos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Paneer momos नहीं खाए fried. They're great. I feel like fried paneer momos are fine. Everything else I'm a bit like, I don't know. I was like, yeah.
I don't like fried momo at all.
Yeah.
Like, bleh.
Bhaturas, yeah, it's great.
You mentioned in your essay that the idea of putting a momo in a tandoor is not entirely acceptable to elite diners and food critics. Now, I was thinking, if some tiny outlet in Delhi had not invented or experimented with tandoori momos, I bet you this would have been something that a gourmet modern Indian restaurant would have definitely come up with. It fits in the Indian accent menu, which is actually I think a pretty good restaurant. It fits in one of those menus. So because it has first been taken up by a local food joint, elite modern Indian restaurants won't take it up because they would look down at it.
Yeah. I do think that's true. And basically, again, this is something I told Jonathan on email. Yeah. I feel like Jonathan could just be from Delhi क्योंकि उसको ना
Jonathan कौन है हमारे listeners को बताओ.
Jonathan, sorry.
Jonathan
is the editor of Whittles London, which is a newsletter that's run from London. Yeah. It's fantastic. Basically, he has this knack of like wanting to write about very outrageous things. Things that nobody else wants to write about. Things that people want to like, that the things that people think are safe, like not safe, etc. He publishes a lot of that stuff. So he published this tandoori momo piece.
Jonathan क्या बॉम्बे से है, महाराष्ट्र से है?
नहीं, Jonathan गोवा से है. गोवा से है और उसके पापा इंग्लिश.
अच्छा,
लंदन से.
उसका
लंदन.
I thought उसका नाम Jonathan विठल है.
That would be a joke. मैं इसको बताती हूँ.
Jonathan विठल बाबू काय करतोस तुम्ही?
Sorry, I was trying to answer your question, but मैं कुछ और कहना थी. But yeah, I mean that's true. But I also think about like a lot of foods that are just like happen on the streets, na, and you can't put a label on them of tradition and ye and wo, और फिर किसी की नानी ने बनाया और ये सब वगैरह नहीं कर सकते, तो फिर people are like ये असली नहीं है, or this is like random बकचोदी वाला खाना हो गया. They don't want to like talk about it as like real food.
A modern Indian restaurant would have come up with an elaborate story to explain the origins of tandoori momo.
Yeah. Like also,
I would have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like obviously like restaurants need to run and this kind of stuff. But I feel like a lot of street foods happen because of like moods where someone will be like, "Bhaiya, isko aise kar do na," and then it just becomes like thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like that's something, and I think I wrote about it because also no one lets me. Like I said, they all these like usually foreign editors को लगता है मतलब मैं यहाँ पे full on like rose meal butter and like I don't know what they think we do, you know. So I kind of want to write about this stuff just to kind of establish कि sorry यार हम भी मजे करते हैं.
I think on this, Vikram Doctor said a really nice thing as well. And he was talking about, well, we as in Vikram and I, not Archit for sure. Vikram and I were sharing our love for Vada Pav. And he was talking about how there was, in Goa, they have this one Vada Pav, which is a little advanced Vada Pav. Because what they do is that they stuff the same patty thing, aloo, in capsicum. And then wo ho jata hai batter fry. And once they batter fry that, then that goes in between the buns.
Wow.
So it's just, yeah. And so what he was saying, what you are also mentioning, right? That there are a lot of times when you see food on the street or street food, whatever however you want to call it, that comes just because कोई आया होगा बोला भैया एक काम करो इसमें ना ये कर दो. जैसे वो चीज हो ना कि ये मोमो ना 3 मिनट कम स्टीम करना.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like I think Delhi had this कुछ दिन पहले बड़ा ही बकवास एक ट्रेंड स्टार्ट हुआ दिल्ली में और वो था कोका कोला और स्प्राइट ऑमलेट.
Oh my
I don't know if you yeah.
कुछ भी होता है.
I mean, I don't know whether it was unhealthy or not, but just the sound of it is sounding unhealthy. You cooking soda. In my head, I'm like, no. First, no. And second, also, it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
So even though complete sort of, I would say, full points for the innovation, but in my head, it's like, I think it's unhealthy. And assumption again is somebody must have come to the streets, कोई Instagram में चला गया और बोला भैया आप ना 1 kg इसमें बटर मत डालो फॉर द चेंज अमूल के बटर इसमें ना आप कोका कोला की बोतल खोल के डाल दो. तो वो डाल दिया. अब उसने डाला तो बाकी लोगों ने फॉलो कर लिया. तो आई एम अज्यूमिंग मोस्ट ऑफ दीज स्ट्रीट फूड्स न्यू एज आर कमिंग बिकॉज ऑफ समबडी सेइंग कि हे भैया थोड़ा इसके अंदर कुछ और डाल दो ना थोड़ा देखते हैं ना करके क्या लगेगा.
Yeah.
But I think as a people, I think we like tamasha, na? Like हर चीज में उसको cruise out. Because I remember when I was doing that custard powder piece, मैंने custard powder का piece लिखी थी, and I was doing some research about like 2004 में, which is the thing that Indians ate most or something like this. I don't know if it was 2004 or 2006, but then, and it was a choco lava cake. Literally only for the reason कि उसमें से chocolate like फूट के आता है. There's no other explanation.
You know, I remember there was an obsession about it.
Yeah. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So I think we like theatre and tandoori momo is also like theatre and like, you know, we like that. We like कि बाहर जाके कुछ तमाशा हुए, then we feel full.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing.
And tandoor is actually not a very easy thing to cook with. It requires some sophistication. I mean, we casually, because we're so used to tandoori roti and tandoori items, we take it for granted, but it requires some training. It's a learning curve. And there's some drama attached to taking something out of a pit and your food is sort of ready as you take it out of that pit.
Yeah.
I will add 2 things there. Yeah. First thing first is I remember the first time ever that I was using a tandoor and I was basically making the tandoori roti. भाई साहब हाथ के फ्री के वैक्सीन हो गई थी मेरी.
Yeah, crazy यार.
मैंने उसके अंदर हाथ डाला and it is literally like 500 के आसपास होता है उसका. सेल्सियस में, फारेनहाइट नहीं, सेल्सियस के आसपास होता है. You put your hand in and पूरी मस्त सेक्सी टाइप के आप बिल्कुल हाथ निकल के मैं अपने हाथ देख के टर्न ऑन हो गया. ओहो क्या सेक्सी हाथ बन के आया है. Second thing is that I was in Armenia and Armenia has this thing called lavash bread. And I mean, of course, we also know about lavash, but not the crispy one, the thin. Lavash bread in Armenia is exactly same like Rumali roti that we have. Yeah, it is Rumali roti basically. Now their culture, and this fascinates me every time. First, lavash bread is always made in Armenia, always made by the women, not by the men. That's the first thing. Second thing, unlike in India, when you make rumali, you make on ulta tawa, या फिर वो सिकड़ी जो बोलते हैं. But in Armenia, what they do, they have a similar pillow which we use in India as for tandoori roti. They have a similar thing. उसको मस्त रोल किया, उसके ऊपर लगाया, पिलो के ऊपर, and they go half down in the tandoor. Oh, मतलब उनका सर अंदर जाता है. In a way, what they also do is they sort of I mean, I am like, oh wow, what if you actually fall? But they don't fall. उस तरीके से उनकी ट्रेनिंग होती है प्रॉपर्ली. For them, it is more like giving respect and to the food god and as well as to the grain, and that's what they go half down every time they have to put up lavash bread in the tandoor.
Wow.
So that was fascinating for me when I was traveling in Armenia,
Yeah.
and especially with food. Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
है तो वहां से आर्मेनिया से अब आते हैं हम वापस अपने गांव मेरा देश गुड़गांव नहीं दिल्ली. Now you again mentioned about Humayunpur, fascinating food in Humayunpur that people can get. Now you write in your article, and I quote, Humayunpur is an integral part of Delhi's foodscape. It is in spots like this where the usual parade of dominant taste gastronomy is punctured, where food cultures usually kept at the periphery of Indian cuisine stand in the center, and restaurants are both pillars to the community and affordable to the city's new and young. If Delhi is a food city, it is in the neighborhood like this one. Oh, well, ये बड़ा claim है. I don't even know if you remember writing this line, but if you do,
I don't.
that's a big
I truly
claim.
don't.
हाँ, इसीलिए वापस हमने पढ़ दिया पूरा half by half.
हाँ, मुझे
What makes you claim
शाहरुख खान ending देनी थी ना उस paragraph. So that's
Oh.
this is it. सिर्फ ये सच है. Anyway, हाँ. Okay, sorry.
So that was the question. You said Shahrukh Khan ending है. You don't believe in this?
It's a big
No,
claim.
no, no,
It's a
no.
big claim about Humayunpur because it's a relatively unknown neighborhood of Delhi. Now upcoming as a food neighborhood. So tell us why you wrote this, if you remember.
Well, I think I wrote it because I love that neighborhood.
Yeah.
I truly love it. Like like every time I go there, I'm kind of, I miss when things were more informal than they are now. Like I miss kind of my neighborhood in East Delhi, Mayur Vihar is abhi hamare cafes वगैरह like that is happening now. But I still miss that kind of like walking in and just the sort of like informal nature of food where there's a store and then there's also like a small restaurant and things are changing quite a lot and stuff like that. Humayunpur in a way feels more raw than a lot of parts of the city do, especially in South Delhi, because everything, especially it's behind Safdarjung B5 market, which is very nice. But again, I feel like it's a little bit like sterile for me. I don't want to go from Piano Man to go to Blue Tokai to go to some overpriced like pizza place. It's nice, whatever, but it's not where I kind of like, I don't get any pleasure from there, and then immediately I go to Humayunpur behind it and I'm just like, wow, because it's fun, like people are walking around doing their things, like residential neighborhoods and a food neighborhood are just so intertwined with each other now over there.
Yeah. What's unique? Like what kind of people live there? What's unique about it?
Yeah. So Humayunpur is so basically it's like pehle, I think before the 80s or something, it used to be primarily like it's a neighborhood owned by Urban Village where the landlords are from the Jat community.
Yeah.
And uske baad, now like with the call center boom and also like the migration of students from the Northeast and migrants from the Northeast into Delhi, they started living there. And it makes sense that everybody lives together because there's a lot of discrimination that people from the Northeast face, and so it makes sense that they live together where they can like find their food ingredients and where they can cook their food without being like shouted at ki isse se badbu aati hai, ye hoti hai, wo hota hai. And I'm like, it still happens in Humayunpur, but I understand why people can't really assimilate into other kind of neighborhoods and everything, because in the north there is a lot of surveillance of like people from outside by landlords and people like communities that have power. So obviously different communities ke saath like alag tariko mein hota hai, but I think Humayunpur has become a place where people from Nagaland, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, everywhere come and stay there. So it's just really fun also because you get to eat all kinds of things that you wouldn't get to outside Humayunpur, and in a very normalized way. It's not like hawa bana rahe hain sab cheezon ka, but you go somewhere, you can eat like you can eat liver, you can eat miso diner pe they have all kinds of, I honestly don't even know, but they have all kinds of like traditional food from Mizoram that is, everyone has to consider like exotic or like like not edible or whatever, but there people rush to eat that stuff. So for me, it's always just been really nice where you see a different kind of, like, because when you think about India, you think about a certain kind of place, but not me, but like the world. But there, that place just, that like busts that idea, that has so much power ki India mein sirf ye 2-4 cheezein khate hain. Humayunpur is like, no, you know what, we're a neighborhood in the capital and we will eat this stuff because yeah. Anyway, so for me, that's it's like a powerful kind of place, and it's very tasty. I love Northeastern food. I think that also like there's just the way that people in Nagaland eat. In my brief trip, was like such an intelligent way to eat. It's amazing. And then they're always like, "Acha, like wow, people look so young in the Northeast." Now that I think it's because they eat with such there's so much simplicity, and there's still like lots of it's very complex also. So I really love that neighborhood. I think that's why this article is very like, it's very like lots of large statements. मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगती है.
I also think when you go to Humayunpur, it's not that you're just going to eat Northeast cuisine. But you literally get a lot of different kinds of cuisine. Of course, you have the entire European or continental food, which includes pizza, pasta, burgers, etc. But you also have this new thing now coming in Humayunpur, which is a Korean food.
Yeah.
So, which is surprising, and also surprising in the concept, basically, but also food-wise, it tastes good. Authentic, not authentic, I don't really care ever. But it tastes really nice. I'm like, wow, if this is what Koreans are eating, then hey, we are not even Korean and yet we are eating this food. Beat that.
Yeah. And also it's just, but the thing is that for me, like neighborhoods that allow things to enter are my favorite ones. Like Lajpat Nagar, Humayunpur, things like that. It's not like yahan pe sirf aisi cheez hogi, like that's a really important kind of thing. Because it's the capital, like people from everywhere are going to come. So it's important that they do come, and then it does happen. So
that's why it's called melting pot. Should be like that.
I hope it's like that. Going forward, God knows. Kya hoga? Let's see.
Hopes high rakhenge hum.
On that note, एक छोटी सी ब्रेक ले लेते हैं.
Have you ever wondered where the business world is headed? How the ways in which we create, market, and sell to consumers will evolve? Or if we'll ever go back to wearing pants while working? For answers to all of this and more, tune into Advertising is Dead with me, Varun Dugirala. Every Tuesday, as I talk to entrepreneurs, leaders, and change makers from across business, media, marketing, and beyond. You can catch all episodes of Advertising is Dead on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from.
Alright, तो हम ब्रेक से वापस आ गए हैं. Of course, you must have realized क्योंकि हमारी आवाज आ गई अब, तो ब्रेक से वापस आ गए. और ये है हमारा आखिरी वाला कंट्रोवर्शियल और हमारा फेवरेट सेगमेंट. अच्छा, कंट्रोवर्शियल भी हमने ही बोला है और फेवरेट भी हमने ही बोला है. हमें कोई किसी ने बोला नहीं है. वैसे नहीं कि अचानक से मैं बिल्कुल वायरल होगा कि ओह माय गॉड किसी ने फलाना चीज बोल दिया. बिल्कुल भी नहीं. हमें लगता है कंट्रोवर्शियल है तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. हमें लगता है ना हम खुश है ना, बस आत्मनिर्भर बनो बेटा, आत्मनिर्भर. खैर, तो we of course asked the person, guest of honor, कि आपके जो है favorite. अच्छा, because you mentioned about absurd food, right? So let's say absurd momo कौन से हैं favorite?
मेरे
Which absurd है दुनिया के लिए, but it's your favorite.
I like this like mushroom momo that I recently I thought was great, but I don't think वो उतना absurd है. I think वो अभी बस पता नहीं चला लोगों को कि है क्या. हाँ. Yeah, I mean, in the spirit of these things, I want to say कि वो मुझे मोबर्ग बहुत पसंद है, but I like really didn't like it. It's a momo burger.
आएंगे हम उस पर भी आएंगे दुखी.
हाँ. और
अच्छा आप
sorry बताओ.
नहीं अब since you have mentioned already and overrated, तो ये बता दीजिए फिर overrated कौन सा है.
Overrated. हाँ, वो चाणक्यपुरी वाले मोमोज अभी नहीं मुझे पता. Like there's one place where like I think चाणक्यपुरी was one of the main places जहाँ पे वो मोमो रेस्टोरेंट्स होती थी पहले, और अभी वो नहीं मुझे अच्छी लगती ज़्यादा. Also because पहले it was like the only place we go to eat.
What's unique about those Chanakyapuri momos?
I don't remember actually. पहले no, I think they're just regular momos, but I also used to get pork momos there. और वो ज़्यादा नहीं मिलते थे ना. Now you get them सड़क पे नहीं मिलती pork momos, and you have to eat them like in a restaurant, I think, or like a cafe, ना. But I think pork momos are the most underrated. They're great. Oh, can I tell more?
Yeah, go on.
Please go ahead. सब मिला दिया, कचरे बना दिया इस.
There's this place called
मोमो को खीर बना दिया.
There's a place called Pemas in Marganagar, and they have they have those fluffy momos. I think they're amazing. They're so good. Big and ones. I've not eaten them. I ate them and I was like, wow, ये तो बहुत अच्छी है. So wow momo is terribly overrated. पता नहीं क्या है वहाँ पे. मुझे समझ नहीं आता. So like, I'm like, if you could eat fresh momos so easily, why are you eating all these weird frozen type momos?
Yeah.
हाँ, मुझे भी लगता है. सब बता दिया मैडम ने, अर्चित पुरी साहब, ओवर अंडर अपने हिसाब से। सवाल एक जवाब दो। So now you can also tell us, Archit, your favorite momo.
So
we only ask only the Delhi walas कि दिल्ली वालों को तुम बताओ, मैं कुछ नहीं बोला दूंगा।
अरे तो I think I will answer my underrated momo. So underrated momo is this momo called a Yarkandi momo, available in Gurgaon at this place called the Ladakhi Kitchen or Wangchuk's Ladakhi Kitchen. This is basically a fist size momo, big momo. इसमें इसका जो मेम्ब्रेन होता है, जो आउटसाइड लेयर होती है, वो पतली होती है और अंदर टिपिकली व्हाट आई लाइक इज मटन, और वो मटन के साथ ना थोड़ा जूस होता है, सो when you actually bite into it, some of that juice drips down. So I think that's a good sign that's a sign of a good momo for me. That and the fact that उसका जो outer layer है वो thin हो, because thick layer वाले मोमो बनाना तो आसान है, because you know that will ensure कि वो कुछ लीक ना करे उससे, एंड उससे और ज्यादा मैदा कंटेंट बढ़ जाता है मोमोज का. बट थिन लेयर बनाना इज एक्चुअली एन आर्ट, सो आई क्वाइट लाइक दोज काइंड ऑफ मोमोज. And these are also made of whole wheat typically, not maida. I don't eat maida, so that's another reason why I like them. And यही मेरे favorite हो गए लद्दाखी किचन से. छोटे वाले भी मिलते हैं whole wheat momos, again dripping with juice, dripping with fat, very tasty. Pork भी ले सकते हैं आप, chicken भी ले सकते हैं, but mutton I think are the best. So those are my underrated and favorites. सदाब आपके कुछ तो होंगे यार.
हाँ बताओ.
Overrated बता दो ना, overrated बोल दो.
Overrated deep fried momos. So I think basically deep frying something made of maida is just the laziest form of cooking. This is मतलब it can't taste bad. अगर आप मैदे को deep fry कर दो, it will taste decent, but it's not extraordinary. So I think it's just very lazy cooking. That's why I'm not a fan of fried momos.
Oh, पता नहीं, मैं I won't even put fried momo in overrated either or underrated. I just don't like it. It becomes chewy. Yeah, it just because when you fry it, shallow fry, deep fry, it just becomes chewy. So ना तो favorite है, ना तो under है, ना तो over है. बस हमारे लिए एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करना है, इसको इतना तवज्जो देना ही नहीं है. मेरा फेवरेट मोमो क्या है, यू आस्क्ड. दो हैं, लेकिन उनमें से एक जो है आई थिंक ऑफ कोर्स वी ऑल लव डोलमा आंटी, तो उनका तो स्पेशल मेंशन है. बट इन दिल्ली हाट यू हैव गॉट दिस गाइस मोमो मिया. दे हैव गॉट वेरी नाइस मोमो बिकॉज इट्स स्टफ्ड नाइसली. तो पूरा जो शेल है ना उसमें अच्छे से गोश्त होता है, अनलाइक ऑल वेजिटेबल्स व्हाटएवर यू लाइक. तो वो स्टफिंग काफी अच्छी होती है, एंड देन चटनी इज आल्सो क्वाइट डिलीशियस. So yeah, that is my favorite momo.
मुझे और थॉट्स आ रहे हैं बेस्ट मोमोज बारे में. It's just झोल मोमोज are really, I don't know if they're underrated or they're like just not, people don't know about them, but they're so good. And there's a place called Nympho, this Sikkimese place.
Yeah.
Kailash Colony में ना, उनकी बहुत अच्छे हैं वो, they're so good. Like ठीक है, like in my article हमने को मोमोज इससे खानी चाहिए when you go out and you want to be silly and whatever, but obviously it's a great like बीमार लग रहा है या whatever, you're feeling tired and all, like it's a good food in that way. So Nympho is like my go-to then. I love it.
Another momo that I recently discovered, which I think is underrated, is Fab Cafe ka momo. They make it with jackfruit flour, so that's way healthier than any other momo that you will have. Very interesting, and I thought, you know what, toot jayega jaldi se because jackfruit does not stick as well as maida, but it did not break, and I guess they've perfected how to make it.
Wow. Haven't tried it yet. I will. So yeah, तो clearly Wow Momo को मिला है 0 रेटिंग और Fab India को मिला है 50 रेटिंग. तो हम ये जश्न रिवाज कंटिन्यू करते हैं फिर. और इस रिवाज को कंटिन्यू करने का मतलब ये है कि अब करते हैं दुकान बंद, क्योंकि बड़ी जोर की भूख लग गई है, और जाएं अपने अपने घर पर में मोमो वगैरह ऑर्डर कर लें. जहाँ से करना है करो, वाव मोमो भी करना है करो, मेनू की तो अड्डा पैसा. योर बिजनेस इज योर बिजनेस, नन ऑफ माय बिजनेस.
Thank you for coming on the show, Sharanya.
Thank you, Sharanya.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network.
You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com.
You can also follow us on our social media. We are @IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram.
And if you want to reach out to me, on Twitter, I am Hussain Sadaf1, and on Instagram, I am Sadaf_Hussain. You can reach out to Archit
on Twitter @bantofu, and on Instagram @thehustling-glutton.
Eventually, you'll see the end of your childhood,
Get accustomed to womanhood.
enjoy the experience of sisterhood,
Might get to wifehood
or not, choose motherhood,
or not. You'll learn to define your personhood.
earn a livelihood,
Change the neighborhood.
and get rid of the falsehood that life post-academia is easy.
So join me, Natasha,
And me, Ayushi,
on a journey from station starting point.
to station, what now?
Next station, Pudin station, and hopefully, Agla station, adulthood.
Fresh episodes out every Thursday.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy? If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.